right, I think we are recording and we are good to go. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I am Sean Santoro with Solomon Financial. I'm doing our usual, our lovely interview series today. We've got one-on-one. We've got our guest, Adam Castle. He is the Director of Venture
Services.
Director of Venture Services at Wetech Alliance. So he's going to be helping us out today, giving us some tips, tricks, know-how, and really sharing some of the value that Wetech brings to the table, how they're helping business owners, and really how we can more ideas of how we can help each other out throughout the new age that we're living in. So Adam, again, thank you very much for your time. I do greatly appreciate it. The one appreciates it. And let's see where we can bring some value. So again, for the people that aren't familiar with you, give us the nice intro and what do you do, where you came from, and what you guys are all about.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much, Sean, and thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it. So as Sean mentioned, my name is Adam Castle. I'm Director of Venture Services for Wetech Alliance, and Wetech is actually one of 17 regional innovation centers across Ontario. So our mandate is to exist solely to help grow and scale local businesses across Windsor, Essex, and Chatham-Kent. So we have almost 4,200 square kilometers of space that we operate in.
Wow.
And so the idea there is to help scale up those types of tech companies that are looking to grow here locally in our region.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And so in terms of tech companies, again, the tech space is monstrous, and I know very little about tech. But what is it? Is it all across the board? Is it kind of more specific type of tech region area that you're kind of working with, companies, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so we work with about 180 clients in our portfolio. So 180 clients at any given time. And really what we focus on is sort of a broad sort of spectrum of tech. What we're finding though is because we have these incredible sort of core industries in manufacturing and agri-tech or agribusiness, we've got some technology that's coming out in those areas that's really going to focus in on that space. Also logistics and warehousing is another big piece for us too. So really wherever you see the main economy in Windsor, Essex, and Chatham-Kent is where we're going to get the tech companies that are sort of building up to support those industries. And that's sort of our main goal, is to help them do that sort of quicker and more efficient and sort of get into the sales sort of mode as fast as they can.
Perfect. And you guys got a fairly sizable team over at Wetech, do you not?
No, that's actually a myth. We're 4 people strong. 4.5 actually. Yeah.
And you guys manage that much. Wow, that's phenomenal.
We do quite a bit. We've got an amazing team. We work really well together, and everyone sort of has their own role. And we put together programming that we designed to scale, right? So similar to what we're always teaching our clients is you have to create systems that scale. We do the same with all of our programming. So we make sure that it's able to serve as many companies as possible.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Nice. And so there's you must do a lot of FaceTime then with a lot of your guys. If you're doing 20 meetings a day, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we've been tracking since the beginning of everything, and we've been doing businesses virtual, right? So everything still happens the same ways it did, and we've done about 175 meetings since March 16th with clients. So it's been pretty busy. I'm working from around 8:30 to about 7 every day. But we always say that we need to work as hard as our clients do, and there's certainly no letting up on their end. So that means that we have to work extra hard right now.
Absolutely. And so when you're being in the tech space already and being familiar with that stuff, right, going digital to everything, it's you guys have been right in lockstep with that. Have you found that a lot of the clients that you've been working for, again, right, depending on how long you've been with them, you've been onboarding them and getting them familiar with, right, a lot more stuff that exists in the tech space, the non-face-to-face stuff, just platforms and stuff that you're using. But have you found that you had to do a surprisingly lesser amount of that kind of education because they've already had that kind of introduction to you guys?
So a lot like the companies that are in the area, we're taking a bit of a pivot as well. So traditionally, we work with tech companies that are providing technology or creating the technology. And right now, we're seeing ourselves working on some programs to help companies that are traditionally not tech, or at least they haven't considered themselves tech and are trying to really get digital. And so we've got 2 really great programs that we're partnering on. One is with the Ontario Tourism Innovation Lab, called Digital Shift. And Digital Shift is all about helping tourism operators across Ontario to sort of think of new experiments they can try in a digital sort of realm. And then we're also working with Epicenter on what's called the Nimble project. And so Nimble is taking 7 companies in. We actually just released the cohort yesterday. So we're taking 7 companies in and teaching them how to do this digital sort of transformation of their business. So, tech is such a broad term. So there's the companies that are making it, and then the companies that are now having to adopt it as part of their core in order to do business as sort of business as usual, right? Or business as new usual. And so we're doing a lot of helping to make sure that companies are adopting the right technologies and making sure that they're sort of doing things efficiently and planning it out in a way that makes sense long term. Everything right now is about sustainability. So we're sort of past the hump of scariness that comes along with a business being in a pandemic. And now it's, how do we look for long term? What changes are we going to make that's going to last for a really long time, so that we're not continually having to reinvent the wheel and reinvent what we're doing, right?
Okay. So you said again, right, there's some projects that you're working on, the digital shift, for example. So in terms of the tourism industry, again, what kind of shift are they doing utilizing technology a lot more? Is it a lot about the marketing side? Is it just ways for people to get involved?
That's a really good question. So, tourism is all about experience, right? And more, normal, or I would say Main Street businesses are getting into the experiential piece, right? Retail was sort of on the decline, and so people didn't just want to come into the store, they wanted to have an experience along with that. And so the idea now is, how do we shift that into a digital realm where you're still giving people a really great experience as a customer, but also it's something on the digital side, right? It's something that's not happening in a physical space. And there's so many incredible sort of examples. And, as scary as this time has been for businesses and for people in healthcare, there's amazing innovation that's coming out of it. So we actually have virtual stores now that you can go in, walk up to a shelf, pick out what you're looking for, and it actually pulls up a chat box where you can chat with the sales associate. So there's stuff like that that's coming out. We also have virtual tours. So I know Peely Island is going to be doing virtual tours of some of their shores and some of their beaches, because it's inaccessible now to anyone except for essential workers. There's just stuff happening all across, especially across Ontario. We've got an incredible Indigenous festival that happens every year, and they're doing everything virtually now. So everything that would normally happen in person, they're doing it with these great sort of sidebars and things that are coming through. So just really exciting stuff.
She clearly wants to be my next panel guest.
Absolutely. Come on in.
Yeah. Hi, babe. But that's, and that was going to be the thing I was thinking about, is for tourism stuff. Can I bring Google outside? Sure, you can bring Google outside. See? Technology going outside now. Then we're going to take the Google out.
Fantastic.
It's in the kitchen, babe. Anyways, but yeah, like Peely Island, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, tourism, how do we take tourism digitally? And the first thing that popped into my mind was like, yeah, like the virtual tour stuff. What can we see before we go see it, so that we recognize, like, okay, maybe we don't want to go see that. Holy cow, that looks super cool. We got to see that, right? And let's put it on the to-do list. And right, charting out little map areas. Yeah, that's a super cool idea. I could totally see how that would definitely create some change.
There's a lot about keeping people connected right now, right? So how do you keep things top of mind so that when things open up a bit? The other piece too, it's a really cool change, is that a lot of tourism operators, including Windsor Eats here in Windsor, they're looking at, well, how do we make locals the tourists? How do we make them our customer base? So instead of knowing that we're not going to have the same kind of travel, how do we look at people that are already living here and want to explore something that's here and existing already? And so you're seeing a lot of that too, where maybe the customer base has shifted from people that are traveling from far away to people that are traveling just a town or two over. And that works really well with what's going on with COVID and what all of the recommendations are from the government. And there's so much to explore, not just here in Windsor, Essex, although obviously I'm a big fan, but across Ontario too. There's these amazing little communities that are doing such huge things. So it's really incredible to see.
And even on that aspect of just the communication stuff, again, kind of a segue, but I'm from Calgary, right? And the biggest thing that I love about Windsor is the weather, hands down. Like, and it's starting to become that time of year, right? Where we go out, we have our coffee on the porch at like 7:38 in the morning, and it's 19, 20 degrees, and it's humid, and the sun's out. And the only thing I can ever compare it to is Mexico. Like when you go to Mexico and you get up in the morning and you go have your coffee out right on the deck or poolside or whatever, and it's got that nice that humid aroma of like rain through the evening, and you get like the smell of the flower. I've never had that smell, that feeling, that reminder in Calgary. I get it here all the time, right? And when I first started coming here, that's what it was the only thing I could connect it to. And I try and describe it to my mom. I try and describe it to my dad and to my sister who's in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. And it's just like, it's tough to say. But when we jump on a video call and I say, yeah, this is what it's like here, and the sun's beaming and the flowers are all in bloom, and they're just like, right, it snowed in Calgary.
Yeah,
like
it's still,
ago,
yeah.
like
There's
that.
still ice on the lake. Yeah, oh, for sure.
Right. So I'm like, hey, this is kind of the advantage. But again, it's a cool idea, because if I hadn't, and truth be told, and I don't like it, I've never even been to Pelee Island. And I've lived here for coming up on 3 years.
Oh,
so again, I gotta go. But what better way to check out the specific spots I want to go than doing a digital tour?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Which is, that's one of the beauties of being on Canada's south coast, right? But and that's just some of the examples, right? That's just one industry, and tourism particularly hit hard by everything going on right now, right? You've got events that are not going to be taking place, and huge festivals that are going to be canceled or moved to indefinite times in the future. So that's a lot of jobs, right? It's one of the major sort of employers in Ontario and in Canada, and around the world too, right? Everyone's facing the same sort of storm. So it's just been it's been really inspiring to see how our small business community has sort of rallied to sort of take these changes on head first, right? Even in terms of deliveries and making small business accessible to people who aren't going out as much, right? Like I think I would say about 97% of what I get in, from groceries to just sort of supplies now, all comes from very small local providers. And
That's awesome.
it's a really cool shift that I think is happening, and one that I can see being a long-term thing. People are going to rely more and more on the local businesses than they are on those big chains, because our small supply chains sometimes are easier to maneuver and be nimble. So it's exciting.
That's awesome. No, again, right? And now, being that, because you said you're coaching, you're working with companies that are trying to take a little bit more tech change, right outside of the tourism one, which we kind of already spoke about. Have you seen a lot of just even new industries come to the table, being like, I never had a website before. I think I need a website now. Have you guys been seeing a lot of that kind of activity coming up?
Yeah, for sure. So I know the Small Business Center, the Windsor Essex Small Business Center, has an incredible program called Digital Main Street. And so Digital Main Street's across Ontario, and that's all they do is really help people get onboarded onto these digital platforms. And they've put out a whole bunch of guides to help people get connected and online. There's always been sort of a sentiment out there that you have to have some sort of digital presence, right? That's sort of just been like a trope outside of the business community. But now there's actually a runway, right? If you aren't online within the next little bit, it's going to be very hard to even compete. Used to be able to have walk-ins, used to be able to have all of this sort of organic traffic that could potentially come in the door, but now it's going to be such a crucial piece to every business's sort of operating plan. What's really cool is we're actually seeing our tech companies that were making products for other things now shifting into that space. So we've got Splice Digital, which is local, actually just over here on Ottawa Street. They're creating what's called Shop My Town. And so Shop My Town is basically a way to district areas in Windsor Essex or southwestern Ontario where people can shop at multiple stores on one online platform. So if you imagine you want to go to downtown Windsor, but you want to do it from your porch right here, you can actually go to Shop My Town and check out all of the stores in downtown Windsor that are on this platform and shop from all of them in one piece, right? So you're checking out once, you're paying once, and it goes to all the different vendors. So they're going to have that rolled out within the next few weeks, and that's going to be major for local businesses for sure.
So that's almost like a shopping hub kind of deal.
Exactly. It's like a marketplace, like an online marketplace, but every sort of vendor out there can be in this one space. So you can shop downtown Windsor in one sort of location, which is really cool, right? Something that's not typically done. I know there's a few products out there that are similar to it, but this is homegrown, and you're going to have the tech support right here on the ground and make sure people are up and running on it. So that kind of stuff to me is so exciting.
Absolutely. And right, again, that's one of the big advantages is to, right, we time travel, why malls and strip malls and outlet malls were so successful is people will go there for one thing, but then there's 50 other stores and they're like, ooh, right, I want to go, ooh. And they go to all these stores and before you know it, you walk out with bags like you ever get into the Vegas
100%.
outlet mall? This is me after Vegas outlet mall.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, like stuff like that. And so again, you're bringing that to a digital platform, and
100%.
you can do it in my pajamas on my porch. Cool, right?
Oh,
That's
sure.
awesome, and
yeah, for
great
sure.
for the business owners as well because now I might sell whatever, right? Shoes. I might be a shoe store, and
Yeah,
somebody's coming to look for a shirt, and hey, they're in this digital platform, and it's like need shoes, need belts, needs what? Again, right? All the different things.
exactly.
That can get you traffic because somebody's going to shop for something else, but because you're aligned with this system, that's creating, right, more potential prospects for business. That's awesome. That's a super cool idea.
Yeah,
And you said it's called Shop My Town.
Yeah, it's shopmytown.ca, and I think they're actually signing up people for vendors now. So if you're interested in it, you want to be involved, you can let them know by putting your email in there, and they'll get in touch when it's ready to roll out. But such a cool idea, and especially because as this is sort of rolled on, we've started to see a lot of ethics questions come up about Amazon and how they manage their business, how they treat their employees. When you're supporting local, like it can't be more of a good feeling, right? Like it's just it's fantastic because you're getting things when you need them and on time, but you're also supporting your neighbors and your family and stuff like that, which is really cool too.
Absolutely, right? And again, right, we're both big networking junkies, right? We haven't seen a lot of our networking friends in a while outside of through the screen, but I like that's got to be a phenomenal feeling knowing that you're helping support, right, the business owner that you normally go for a beer with every couple of weeks because at a networking event, but now you haven't seen them. And it's like, yeah, right. You could support all through that one area. That's phenomenal.
It's also showed me how deprived of human contact I am because they pull up and I'm like in the window with my dog just screaming at them. So
hey, come here, come closer.
Human contact, please, let's talk. So yeah, it's been good to see them through glass for sure.
That's phenomenal. That's awesome. Perfect. Well, listen, I don't want to take up too much of your day, but thank you very much for giving us some of your time and just sharing some of the thoughts and giving those who aren't familiar, right, an introduction to Wetech and what you guys are doing, just some cool ideas that are coming up in the mix. So I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
It is so my pleasure. And if anyone wants to know more, we've got great information and newsletters and news and events all on our page so you to check out more information.
That's awesome. Perfect. Well, listen, I'll let you get back to your day. Thank you again, everybody. Adam Castle from Wetech Alliance. I'm Sean Santoro. This is our one-on-one interview series, so definitely check out some of our past recordings. We're going to have some more stuff coming up. You can see it on our website, www.WONCAN.ca. Also, we're on Facebook. Check out the Facebook page. Again, I'm Sean Santoro with Solomon Financial and the Windsor, Ontario Networking Group. Thank you again. Take care, and I hope to see us face to face soon with a beer in our hand, and we'll cheers away.
Thanks, Sean. Take care.
Take care, Adam.